Hi guys. Last week I talked about how my weight struggle was related to anxiety and my adrenal function. And so today I wanted to talk about maybe 30 ways that we can fight back against that, nourish our adrenals, and reduce our stress levels to support our weight loss goals. Because if we're stressed, our appetite goes up. And when those hormones are in our bodies encouraging us to eat, it's almost impossible to get rid of them. And so I don't mean get rid of them, I mean ignore them and not eat. So especially they're going to be telling us to eat sugars and fats and the easy energy for our body and not necessarily the healthiest things for us. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is truthful self-talk. I feel like a lot of anxiety is when we are saying things to ourselves that aren't even true, like you're fat, you're ugly, nobody likes you, everyone's out to get you. Anything that we can say to ourselves that's not true, we need to recognize that and talk to ourselves about truthful things. I am worthy, I am loved, I am talented, and even to get the focus on other people and how you can love and support and encourage other people so we're not focused on ourselves all the time. Number 2 is prayer, and that's a lot about telling God about our feelings and what we're going through and then giving it to Him and trusting Him with that. And then the third thing goes along with that, and that is memorizing and quoting helpful scripture verses. So when we're anxious or afraid, there's verses out there like, do not be afraid, for I'm with thee. I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. And there's just hundreds and hundreds of verses out there that can speak comfort and truth to our hearts. And then right along that line is singing, and you don't even have to be musical or good at singing for singing to help decrease your anxiety. Just the act of creating music with your voice releases hormones that make you feel better and bring joy to you. I wrote a little list down because 30 is a lot to remember. The next one is deep breathing. So a lot of times when we're anxious, like me right now trying to make a video, our breath gets more shallow and that increases the stress hormones. So just getting a big breath in there helps. And if you're struggling with sleep at night, slowing down and increasing the depth of your breath will even help with sleep and bringing that on faster. Next are certain essential oils that can be helpful, and you can put those in a diffuser if you're working in one place, or you can put them diluted in a roller ball. I like to put them right there on those, wherever you'd put perfume, and that's where you're going to be able to smell it well. You can even put it in a little inhaler, just a few drops. There's a cotton wick inside, and breathe that in. So frankincense is helpful. Citrus oils like orange, lemon, or grapefruit are helpful. Mint oils, even eucalyptus, peppermint, spearmint. And there's one other, lavender. And there's probably more than that too, but those are the very inexpensive. Well, frankincense a little up there, but depending on where you buy it from. And everyone's going to respond a little bit different to different oils. Oh, one more is cedarwood, and cedarwood helps to help you fall asleep at night too. So I like it mixed with orange best for the scent. Also thinking about your jaw, and when I'm under stress, I find myself just tightening that muscle up, and it just consciously letting that go will help. Just all of a sudden I just felt that release of stress just thinking about that and relaxing that. And then along with that jaw being tight, your shoulders and neck can be tight. So finding time to just stretch that neck out both ways. And even if you have like a muscle rub like Blue Heat or trying to think icy hot, and put that on there and just kind of help everything relax. And the bonus is they're both powered by mint family essential oils, so you get that aromatherapy going with it too. Okay, the next one is electrolytes. The next two are kind of both electrolytes, but one is you take in, especially magnesium. But if you're under a lot of stress, your adrenal glands are going to dump electrolytes out in your urine. And then what's available to your body for contracting muscles, pumping your heart, is more limited. And so if you can supplement with that, so Gatorade's kind of like the most common. I take an electrolyte support called Sustain Sport. Whatever works for you, but magnesium is especially relaxing. And so that's why the next one is an Epsom salt bath. So that's basically a magnesium salt, and put it in a warm bath and it will absorb through your skin and be helpful for relaxing muscles. And yes, you can use the magnesium from that in your as an electrolyte. Okay. Ooh, the next couple are supplement type things. So you'll definitely want to ask your doctor, or if you have a naturopath or someone more in the natural lines that you can talk to about that and whether it's right for you. But one is Maca, and it's an herb that you can buy in a powder form in a little bag. And I put 1 teaspoon in my protein shakes, and it's just an adaptogen that helps your hormone levels be right. And that includes your stress hormone levels. The next one is Ashgawanda, and that is similar. I take that more in a capsule form than just eating it. Like the Maca to me tastes like malt. So if I put it in a chocolate shake, it almost is like a Wendy's Frosty. Other people taste something different. So if you don't like the flavor, you can always take it in a capsule. Ashgawanda is a different adaptogen, and so since everyone's different in what they respond to, you might prefer one or the other. Ashgawanda is really for adrenal support, but my adrenals respond better to Maca, so it's whatever your body needs. Phosphatidylserine is the next one. Excuse me. And that's a big fancy word for a fatty acid. And it really helps. So if you're stressed and you have problems remembering things, which I just did, I would get so stressed I would look at my kids and know they were my kids, but not be able to think of their name. Like, oh, what's their name? That's scary stuff. And I would call things like the front closet the fridge. I threw your hat in the fridge and say crazy stuff like that. Well, phosphatidylserine is a fatty acid that helps coat the myelin sheath and really support brain function. And that loss of brain function for me was related to stress, and that kind of reversed it. The other thing phosphatidylserine does in high doses is it lowers the production of cortisol, which allows your adrenals to rest. So I would take like 900 milligrams, that's a lot, before bed. And this was under the care of my doctor, so you should definitely check with your doctor and see if this is right for you. And it worked synergistically with melatonin to help me fall asleep, and it allowed my adrenals to rest at night, so that they're supposed to be active in the morning, getting your cortisol levels up, which gets you ready to be awake and start your day. And if you're the first level of being super stressed with adrenal fatigue reverses that. So your adrenals are super active at night, you can't sleep, your cortisol levels are way too high, and then in the morning they're low and you can't seem to wake up no matter what. So that phosphatidylserine helps to reverse that, so that you're resting your adrenals at night and they're awake in the morning. I am no doctor, so take that under the advice of your healthcare professional. And the next one then is melatonin, and it's the same thing. It's a natural hormone that your body produces to help you get ready for sleep. It naturally helps your adrenals to rest as well, and so I would take those both together. Okay, and then the next ones are more just like simple basic things. One is being able to say no. I know it's so hard when you want to please people and you want to be helpful, but if someone's asking you to take on something that's really too much for you, saying no allows someone else the opportunity to shine. So if you're a yes person and you're taking every job at church or at school or whatever it is, and then nobody else gets a chance to participate, that's not helping them either. So really take it into consideration what you're able to take on right now, and then let someone else do the rest. No guilt to say no. And the next one is to carry a water bottle. I prefer stainless steel or glass. Plastic water bottles tend to leach stuff into your water that is going to add to your stress and not help. But not being hydrated enough increases your stress hormones and makes you hungry and want to eat. And so you need to be drinking half your body weight in ounces. So if you weigh 100 pounds, nobody does, I hope, then 50 ounces of water is right for you. If you're 200 pounds, 100 ounces of water is right for you. And that's ounces, not cups. So there's 8 ounces in a measuring cup, but most household glasses are 16 to 20 ounces. So you might just weigh it the first time till you get a feel for how much water that is. The next one is to nourish the body. So if we're low on essential vitamins and minerals, we're going to start our food cravings. Our body's going to start asking for things. So if you're craving chocolate, often the reason is because you're low on magnesium, which is one of those stress hormones that your body needs extra of when you're super stressed. So just think about that. Am I eating a balanced diet? Am I grabbing chips and cookies when I could be having a piece of fruit or some raw veggies? And if you're really hungry, the fruit and the veg is going to taste fantastic to you. And if you're needing something else besides food, if you're needing a change of activity or relief from stress or whatever it is, then it's when you want the chips and the cookies and the things that aren't going to nourish your body. So get ahead of it with nourishment and you'll be able to stave off some of those food cravings. The next one is talking about workouts. So what I found when I was super stressed is instead of workouts making me feel more energized and better, like less depression and all that, it made me more tired, more depressed, less able to get up and do other things. So some things I found to go around that is extended warm-up. So a typically healthy person needs a 5-minute warm-up to prepare for exercise. And that's just to get your adrenals started up and your blood pumping and your body temperature raised and your muscles soft. But someone with adrenal stress needs 15 minutes. And that includes someone with elevated blood pressure. We need 15 minutes of a warm-up, that gentle walk, something that's not going to make you out of breath, but it's going to help your body prepare for exercise. And so little arm circles and things like that, but for an extended amount of time, and that's going to help reduce the shock and stress on your body. What do I have next? Do not over-exercise. Research has found, and this is documented in the book, The Secret Life of Fat, which I highly recommend, super interesting. I listened to it for free from our public library, so if you can get it that way, get it. Anyway, what was I going to say? Do not over-exercise. So if you burn more than 500 calories in one exercise session, your appetite's going to be boosted up for the rest of the day. And it's going to be very hard to undereat what you exercise. So not only will you eat those 500 calories you just burned, and more. And so if you're over-exercising, it can be hard to keep your appetite under control. So 30 to 45 minutes of exercise, an hour tops is all that you need. And in fact, I recommend 15 to 20 minutes of weight training and then 15 to 20 minutes of interval style cardio with extended warm up and cool down to prevent that kind of thing from happening. And we'll talk more about that in another video. Let's see. Along with do not over exercise, do not overtrain. And instead of like being one long session per day, that's not what we're talking about, but like how many days a week are you training? So if you're not giving your body proper rest days, then you're going to end up with overtraining syndrome, which is exhaustion and muscle wasting. And it's pretty hard on your body. It's hard on your liver, your kidneys, all of your organs, and can take months to recover from. So in order to prevent that, you need to take at least one day off per week. I recommend Sunday. Our bodies seem to be set for that, just where we can take some rest and sleep a little extra afternoon nappies. And then if you want to take a gentle walk, that's fine. That's still considered a rest day, but we're not training hard on that day. Also, keep in mind what we're allowing into our lives. So if we're exposing ourselves to unnecessary stress, watching the news, being on Facebook, getting involved in political arguments, we don't need that. That's going to be counterproductive for our weight loss goals. So avoid unnecessary stress. Engage in what you need to engage in, but the people that are out there that make money off of your anger and I'm talking about news and I'm talking about social media, they make money off of your emotional response, especially if it encourages you to buy something. Avoid it. Just keep that out of your life. And then we have real stress in our life, like financial problems, kids that are rebelling, whatever it could be in your life that is a real stress. Do what you can, but don't borrow worry and trouble about the future. That's when prayer and giving it to God really comes in. So if you're working your debt snowball, and if you've lost your job and you're applying everywhere you can, do what you can to just trust God to take care of the rest. Do what you can and let Him take care of the rest, and try not to borrow extra anxiety. And that's something that you have to do like over and over again. Like, I gave it to God 5 minutes later, and I'm giving it to God again, and 10 minutes later, and one more time. God, I'm really giving this to you again. Sometimes we have stress because of something we've done that we feel guilty about. And so I think it's important to really deal with that in humility and to repent of it and to apologize to who we need to apologize for, apologize to God, and make a chance not to do that again, make a purpose in our life not to do that again. But then the next part is to let it go and forgive ourselves. Just like we're forgiving other people. But sometimes we hold on to that guilt and make that a badge of our identity. And that's not what God wants for us. So be able to let those stresses go too. That's going to help out. And I found that people that aren't able to do that end up lashing out. So instead of being like, I'm sorry, I hurt you, please forgive me, they feel that rejection from the other person, that unresolved conflict, and they just keep rejecting back instead of letting that be a healing point. We're almost done. So thankfulness, I think that's like, it's almost the last one. But thankfulness is another thing that just helps to boost our happy hormones and get rid of stressing hormones. And so some people keep a gratitude journal. Some people take one day a week and write a thank you note to somebody. Whatever it is that helps you with that gratefulness. And then gratefulness is the opposite of complaining. So whenever we find ourselves whining or complaining about circumstances or anything, turn it right back around and find something that you're thankful for instead. Then the last thing is extra stretching. So we talked about neck and shoulder stretching, but total body stretching releases all of these great hormones for you. And another one, a stretch that's especially good, and maybe we'll do a video on this one, but you lay on your back with your feet up the wall, and it allows the blood to actually travel to your adrenal organs and really nourish and support them. And just listen to some really peaceful music, and it's a good time to lay there with your feet up the wall and pray and do whatever you can to release stress. Perfect for right before bed. And then right along with that would be stretching type movements, whether it's like Pilates or yoga or some type of movement like that. So that's what I have for the ways that I'm going to be looking at relieving my stress to help get my appetite under control. And I'd like to know if you thought of something that I didn't say, or if you have a personal experience with one of those things, please drop it in the comments. I'll see you next week.